appreciate that.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate that.
See, this is the thing about this whole discussion. She's the first one who I've ever heard said that.
Yeah.
So this is, I believe her name is Lori Gottlieb. We'd already covered one of her videos in the past before where she talked about, the studies of sometimes people having unrealistic expectations of dating. The video is really popular. I think it has like 1.5 million views.
Men and women were asked what would be a deal breaker for going on a second date. And men named 3 things. They said she has to be cute enough. She doesn't have to look like Angelina Jolie. She just has to be cute enough. She has to be warm and kind. And she has to be interesting to talk to. Those seem like really valid criteria.
Ding, 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 ding. Pretty simple.
Right. Okay, reasonable, right? The women came back with 300 things that would rule out a guy for a second date. And we're talking about like another 2 hours and maybe a free dinner. And they wouldn't do it. And there were things like he wore a brown belt with black shoes. Or we were having a really good time and I thought he was cute and he was interesting. But then he did this Austin Powers impression. And I just can't get that out of my mind and I can't go out with him again. Austin Powers guy could be the love of her life. If he does these impressions on the second date, okay, don't go on a third. But maybe he was just nervous. The guys who are bad first daters might be great life partners. You don't know.
So this is another video, and I decided to just click on and see what it's all about. I believe that she is an author and a therapist.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a old school romantic, as they say. My partner, she has a great job. She has her own money. But I just absolutely feel the need to open up every door for her, pay for every bill for her. I would absolutely not have it any other way. Maybe that's because I'm insecure or something, I don't know. But I watch my dad do it for my mum. And it's like hardwired into my DNA that my role is to protect, take care of, do everything I can to support. And if I'd really struggle with her paying for me. And she's got her own money. She's got her own business, her own job.
But have you talked about it, or it just worked out that way? She never said, "Can I pay this once?" or "Can I?"
Yeah. She pays. It's like a bit of a competition. She'll like sneak off to the bathroom and pay and stuff. But generally, I think I've always wanted to do that on dates, and
That's a good woman. That's very good, because it's very easy to just let someone do something for you all the time. But especially when you have the means and you have the ability to not be generous at any point, I think is a character flaw, in my opinion. Now, of course, maybe there's somebody who's like, if you ever pay, I'll fucking lose it, so you can't. But like, I imagine if I had a billionaire wife, okay, she like paying for everything. I still make enough money where I want to be able to pitch in. I would still want to pay for things. Like, and it would bother me that I could never pay for anything, even though I make enough money to be able to pay for things. Like, oh no, I'll pay for you. No, I want to pay for my family, and I'd also like to be able to take your family out at some point. So it's not just a one-sided all the time when I have the financial means. Now, if you don't, that's one thing. But when you got it and you never do it, I just don't understand how you cannot be given gifts in life and not want to be generous to the people around you. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's why I think it's great that she goes out of her way to make sure she still be able to do it.
If you sat people down and ask them the question, you go on a first date with a guy and he asks to split the bill, or he doesn't immediately pay, would that be an ick for you? Would that turn you off them?
That would be a huge ick for me. Yes.
Yeah. So even for you, it would be?
Yes.
If you went on a first date with a guy and he didn't pay?
Yes.
Would you?
Absolutely.
Why?
There's more cases that, like, if someone is taking her out, I think that's what the question. Are they saying it to be like so much precise? Because that's what I understood was, like, if someone takes you out, takes you on a first date. So if I take you on a first date, I took you. Of course I won't want to pay. I took you. But I'm not sure if they really meant it to be like that precise on words. If they're just talking about a general date where we're just going on the date, and then, or is the part of the sentence that is important is the I taking you on a, you know what I mean?
Sure. I think either way, they're still expecting the man to pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the clarity.
And also, women will sometimes not ask you out, but they'll position themselves in a way that they're doing all the steps just before they're asking you out, so you can ask them out.
Yeah.
So you're like, here, I'm going to give you my number, you're going to call it, and you're going to ask me out. But it's the funny thing that's like, you've literally written everything down, but you still want me to do that. Well, again, it's not a complaint. This is just a thing that some ladies will do. And I know some of y'all in the comments right now are like, I've done that. I don't know. It's okay.
You know, it's like a date is like a little wedding. I'm going to position myself for you to ask me, and I'm position myself to get. But you are gonna pay for it.
Yeah,
it's your family that pays. You know.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I'll ask a question so you can ask them for more. So they'll be like,
And this is what people, will say, all women will say of all ages. I think for my age, we grew up with that was the expectation. I think for younger generations, maybe it's not the expectation, but I think a lot of people still like it or want it. Mm-hmm. There's something about it that says, I really valued our time together. I care. I'm interested. Mm-hmm. It's a way of signaling interest. But I think even if the person isn't interested and you're never going to see each other again, it's just a nice gesture.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I gotta be nice to you. We're never gonna see each other again. I'm just kidding. I just wanted to say that.
That's because you're not a nice person.
Also,
yes.
But I just really just wanted to say that.
But I don't have any rational way of explaining why. And if I were to get rational about it, I would talk myself out of it.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
I appreciate that. See, this is the thing about this whole discussion. She's the first one who I've ever heard said that.
Yes.
And I could at least respect it. She said, if I had to rationalize it, I'd talk myself out of it because it's not rational.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And I've always said this. This is a dumb fucking rule that we've all accepted, but we all embrace it. And I just don't complain about it.
I appreciate that.
I pay for the dates. I'm okay with it. But don't give me some I did my makeup, so you don't do that.
Don't do that.
She didn't do that.
Yeah.
I respect
it.
You know what I mean? Like, don't try to explain.
Don't try to fucking rationalize something that is not rationalizable. Stop. Just say that it's not rational.
It's magic, Abba. No, lady. There's a... I don't think what she said was crazy. I think on the whole topic of paying on the first date, like she said, if women want to do that and they want to split it, they split it. But at the end of the day, dudes, this is just one that we're going to have to take on the chin. Okay. And there's some things I'm okay with taking on the chin because I'm like, this is not the worst deal. And also, to be honest with you, I'm the type of person who enjoys being generous. I don't really go on dates with women who try to take advantage of me for my money or try to get free meals out of me. I'm pretty good at sifting out those kind of peoples. So generally, it's like I'm being generous with somebody I like, and I enjoy that process. So for me, it's not like here's this thing that men have to do. It's just like I just don't like it when they insult me with their I pay for my makeup. Shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Let me pay for the date, but don't act entitled and be grateful. That's it.
That's what it was.
The same way when you put an effort to look good, I'm grateful, but I'm not saying, well, if you want to find a man, you got to make sure that you always wear your. I don't do that. When I pay for the date, they'll be like, well, as a man, you're always supposed to. Don't do that. Don't. If you want to have this kind of romantic, old school lifestyle, okay, don't remove any of the magic surrounding it by being entitled. You know what came along a lot with the whole idea of chivalry? It came with grace. It came with the fact that women had to be gracious. Mm-hmm. They had to have etiquette. Mm-hmm. Yes, a lot of y'all want the chivalry, but you guys have the etiquette of a streetwalker. Yeah. Why would anyone be chivalrous and offer the knight's code to a f***ing damsel who's a streetwalker? That's crazy.
I think that's a very honest answer. And then the counter sort of rebuttal to that means, okay, so if men are expected to pay, then...
You're expected to give up some pussy.
Okay, so if men are expected to pay, then we're going to need more money.
No!
Oh, that's not the team that could.
We're just being two jackasses right now.
No. He went left. He went a different direction.
Yes, and it gets very expensive to date.
Yeah. Really
it does.
expensive.
I mean, people will say, oh, you can go on a hike. It doesn't cost anything. You can do a picnic. You can, watch a movie. There are all kinds of things you can do. But the reality is, it's kind of like, I remember that old Chris Rock joke, in the first 3 months of a relationship, you're not you, you're the ambassador of you. So, you want to impress somebody. You're trying to show interest in somebody. But I do think there's that really primal need for safety that is gender-based, that we don't like to talk about or acknowledge, but that I think women really, if somebody doesn't pay on a first date, if a guy doesn't pay on a first date, I think a lot of women don't feel safe. That's what it comes down to.
It's a tricky world, and it's getting increasingly trickier, it feels,
It feels like an insult almost that the person doesn't pay.
Not many people. Some people would, but no one would really publicly say that, though, because it's like not socially acceptable to say that you expect them to say. But in private conversations, of course, everyone I know is that if they went on a date with a man, so in a heterosexual relationship, and the man either asked to split the bill or suggested that you might pay, this person's not going to get a second date.
Of course not. No. Unless it was the woman who said, oh, no, let me split that with you. But if it was his decision and he said, oh, let's split this, or he put it in the middle. No. I in therapy, the young woman came to me recently and she said she went out with this guy and they went to a cafe and they got coffees. And he asked her to split it, coffee. And she said, and she was having...
Pay for the coffee. It's like $3-4. Pay for the coffee.
All right, so I'm just going to take this 5 and
Even I'm fine with like people splitting stuff.
I'm just going to take this bank.
It's a coffee. It's a coffee.
She said, and she was having so much fun on the date until the bill came. And she was shocked. And she thought, okay, well, it was very personal to her. At first she thought, he must really, really have had a horrible time with me to want to not pay for my $5 coffee.
Or this is a representation of the rest of your life with me. We splitting bills. Nah, pay for the coffee. Pay for the coffee.
And then he asked her out again. And she said to me, I don't understand this at all. So he was interested in me and he didn't pay for my coffee. And she did not go out with him again. So these are the kinds of signals that it very much is emblematic of something. Who pays on that first date?
Do you agree with that decision that she made?
100%. And I mean, I didn't say that as her therapist. It's really about understanding it for her. But I do agree.
In her face, she's like, mm-hmm. In her head, she's like, yes, bitch.
That's exactly what happened. I like that dynamic. I mean, do I think it's wrong to not want to go out on a second date? No, I don't think it's wrong.
Depends on your criteria. What's your criteria?
I don't think it's wrong if you want to be with someone who you feel is generous as a man, and you don't feel like honestly, like, okay, here's an example. Let's say I go on a date with a girl, okay? So first date, we go get coffee. I wanted to pay, and then I realized I forget my wallet. And she looks at me, and it happens, okay? Let's say I forget my wallet. She looks at me and says, I refuse to pay your half. I would not go on another date with her. I'm okay with saying that. Why? Because I'm like, if you can't even be generous enough to just take care of this, and then I promise to have you back on the next time, if you can't even have that level of trust over a $5 coffee, you're probably not somebody I want to be involved with. Maybe you have some trust issues. Maybe you have a whole bunch of stuff. It's a $5 coffee.
I think it's more than that. In that situation, that I forgot my wallet has been done so many times, and it's kind of in the stories that we hear of bad dates, and we hear stories about that. Oh, the guy didn't have his wallet. Oh, the guy didn't have his wallet. Oh, he took me out, but the guy didn't have it. So to her, she can see that as a red flag. It's not more so much about the coffee, but about the social baggage that a man not having his wallet represents when you're going on a date.
Well, then you're gonna find that out in the next couple of dates if it's an ongoing issue. But to sit there and say, I won't pay the other half. What are you going to make an awkward scene with the fucking barista or the people at the restaurant? You paid, even if you don't.
They're going to pay, but they're going to see that could be a deal breaker for seeing you next time or not.
Okay, well then this person is probably not somebody I want to date with. If an unfortunate small little thing like that is enough for you to not want to go on a date, you weren't that interested to begin with. Honestly,
you what?
You weren't that interested to begin with.
No, like I said, it's not necessarily interested or not. It's because of the baggage.
Absolutely. It's a $5 coffee. If you're like, oh, this person must be lying or whatever it is, and you won't go on further dates to not find out, then yeah, a $5. If it's a $200 date, or if it's like a $200 dinner and the person's opposed, I could understand.
I see what you're saying.
A $5 coffee.
I see what you're saying.
So all this to say, I think generosity inside a relationship is always good from both people. from both people. It shouldn't be a one-sided thing. So her not wanting to date somebody who wouldn't want to cover it. I think going on dates, especially if you're seeing someone and you want to be going consistent, I think it's perfectly fine for one person to pay. And then I paid 3 dates, and then the other person's like, I want to pay for the next one. I'm like, sure, go right ahead. And then she ended up paying for the 4th date, and I thought it was great. And I think you should have a partner who wants to pay for certain things sometimes. I don't think it should be one-sided 100% of the time. But some people want to have their life set up that way. What I'm trying to say is, if you seek for generosity in that regards in a relationship, there's nothing wrong with saying, this person doesn't have that, I don't want to be with them. What are your thoughts on this whole thing?
I think it's cool. It is cool. Like, oh, okay, she's taking me out. Shit. You know, sometimes you want to be the little spoon.
Facts. A lot of the times.
Yeah, just grab
Little spoon. Hey. Your tiny ass homie.
You kind of do, yeah.
Facts.
You do want to be the little.
Facts. Well, no, man, I don't give a fuck about gender roles. You better learn to be a big spoon from time to time. Stop playing with me. I've had this conversation.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, how y'all not be telling us how nice it is to be little spoon?
Because they gatekeep.
Yeah. And then they girl boss.
Yeah.
And then when you try to convince them otherwise, then they gaslight.
And then they scissor. I remember that lesson.
Yeah. They girl gatekeep, girl boss, and gaslight. All this to say. Guys, okay, there's 2 things that women been hiding from you that I've done extensive research on.
Peep game.
The 2 things.
Peep game. Thing number 1.
Little spoon.
Little spoon, ya hear?
All right. And thing number 2, skirts and dresses.
What?
I'm not saying guys should wear skirts and dresses,
Thank
but I'm
you.
saying not wearing pants, having like robes and stuff feels amazing.
Oh.
I wear a robe. The difference between a robe and a dress.
It's not the same thing, but
Is it?
It is. Wait. It's not the same thing, but it is the same thing.
It's the same thing. It's just,
but like a dress really looks like a dress. A jalaba doesn't look like a dress.
I've been dressing like that because I saw my forefathers dressed like that, and then I got a little bit older. I started rocking them, and I'm like, oh, I get it.
Shit, you think?
I get it, yo. You need to let that shit breathe.
You think you're better than me?
Yes.
Because you got 4 fathers, I only got 1. You fucked up.
You want that shit out there. No one anywhere said anything. But anyways, all this to say, to come back to the topic.
Kilts, yeah,
I have no problem.
Kilts. I was wearing kilts.
Okay,
Kilts is, kilts is a.
That's a skirt. Absolutely is.
No,
Would they wear that one in Scotland?
Yeah, Irish, Ireland, Scotland,
Gotcha.
UK. Anyways, you were saying?
To go back to the topic, let's all just be respectful of the fact that we have our parts, and we generally accept it if we want to, but we don't act entitled about it. That's all.
I just appreciate the fact that she said that it was not rational.
Yes.
That's it. For that, I'm like, okay, carry on. Carry on. I felt like this conversation was like on an equal base. Because the thing that happened is that whenever we have this conversation and you, like you said, you come out with the mumbo jumbo about all your makeup and everything and stuff and this and that, you're taking me for an idiot. Yeah. Like, you're taking me for a ride. When you're like, yeah, I know it's not rational, but that's how I like it. I'm like,
yes,
you shall get it. I'd rather you're like, it's not. You
absolutely
get that. Then you take me for an idiot and you're like, okay, well, all right, makeup and this and that and that. I gotta take you to like a fucking chump.
I think she just made the best argument. That's what I want to do.
I could have been ready to. No, nah. You disarmed the whole thing. I'm like, okay.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. I will take you on a date.
At any rate, that's it for today's video topic. Let us know what you think. Do you guys agree, disagree? How do you feel about this whole thing? Also, we got Discord. Go check it out. It's in the description below. And we got our second channel, Albert Preaching the Floor, where all the cut and Jubilee videos go.
Yeah.